Well, thank you for joining us for THV 11 News at 6 on this good Saturday evening. Simone, it's been a minute since we've both kind of been here on the desk on a Saturday.
Yeah, I've been shifting around, accommodating people's vacations, summer holidays, and now we're back together just in time to talk about more of that heat you love and some thunderstorms that have been impacting some northern portions of the state. Let's take a quick look at some of those storm reports. Mainly out of northeast Arkansas, we've been seeing some thunderstorm wind damage and some hail reports. The report out of Jackson County, we've been seeing a lot of images coming out of Tuckerman, Arkansas, where there has been some strong storms pushing through again, bringing those 60-mile-an-hour damaging winds. Of course, across the northern half of the state, we've seen some very heavy rainfall this afternoon. This is the 6-hour totals. A lot of these swaths of these oranges into reds you see are radar estimates of 1 to even 2 inches and a few pockets of heavier inches of rain. We currently have a flash flood warning in effect until 8:45 for portions of Perry County until again 8:45, because you can see that big swath of 2-inch rainfall that has fallen just over the past couple hours. This is all associated with a line of storms that is working its way south. If you were up with us this morning, I was telling you we had a frontal boundary that will be approaching to try to bring some cooler air, but ahead of it we would see these storms. These storms are going to continue to push south through central Arkansas over the next 30 minutes or so, and we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for this part of the state until 8 o'clock. So through the next couple hours, we're going to see some more rain likely, especially here in the capital city. We'll talk more about the rest of your weekend coming up in that 7-day outlook.
Well, thank you, Simone. A popular blues legend got a hometown celebration today in England. Family, friends, and music fans gathered to honor Larry Totsie Davis with the unveiling of a new historical marker recognizing his contribution to blues music. The event was part of the Arkansas River Delta Blues Trail, which highlights artists who helped shape Arkansas's musical heritage. Davis grew up in England and built a career as a songwriter, bassist, and performer, earning 4 W.C. Handy Awards along the way. He also credited as a co-writer of Texas Flood, a blues classic later made famous by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Fans and supporters say today's celebration was about making sure Davis' story is remembered for generations to come.
This is our second event we're having. The first we honored Bobby Rush in Sherrill, Arkansas 3 weeks ago. This is for Larry Totsie Davis, who grew up in England. Born in Pine Bluff, grew up in England, and what we're simply doing is trying to shine lights on these wonderful artists that were the backbone of Arkansas's music heritage.
The celebration included live music, food, and the unveiling of a permanent historical marker in Davis's hometown. Organizers say additional markers honoring Arkansas blues pioneers are planned across the Arkansas River Delta in the months ahead. And a Central Arkansas veteran is celebrating a remarkable milestone. Thomas Vaughns, of one of the last surviving Tuskegee airmen, marked his 106th birthday Saturday, surrounded by family and friends in Little Rock. Vaughn served as one of the famed Tuskegee airmen during World War II and later served in the Korean War. After returning home to Arkansas, he spent years helping farmers and communities through his work in agriculture. Earlier today, family and friends gathered at the summit in Little Rock to celebrate his 106th birthday and a lifetime of service.
Nice father, gosh, a guy that's well loved by just about everybody in the community. For many years, he was a county agent working for the Arkansas communities and so on, helping farmers, that sort of thing. Been in horticulture for a long time, just an all-around, very capable person when it came to agriculture.
Vaughn's son Ryan says his father never let his work get in the way of being there for his family. He says Saturday's celebration was a chance to honor not only his 106th birthday, but also the lasting impact Vaughn's had on Arkansas and the country through decades of service. And a rare bipartisan bill passed by Congress and sponsored by Arkansas French Hills became law today despite the president's refusal to sign it. It's being called the biggest housing bill in decades. THV 11's Carter Threet has Hills' reaction.
Republicans and Democrats alike have called it a landmark piece of legislation.
The 21st Century Road to Housing Act represents one of the most significant bipartisan housing reforms in recent memory.
The law's goal, make housing more affordable.
Today, our average age of first-time homeowners has risen to 40. Just 5 years ago, it was 33.
The law removes regulatory barriers to encourage an increase in housing supply, puts limits on institutional investors buying single-family homes, supports housing opportunities for veterans, and aids local governments in creating affordable housing. Representative French Hill was joined by fellow House member Mike Flood of Nebraska in Maumelle early Saturday to celebrate.
If you're in 5th grade and you watch that little cartoon, I'm Just a Bill, none of what happened here is in the cartoon. It's not that easy.
The bill's most high-profile obstacle, President Trump. He posted on Truth Social Friday night that he wouldn't sign it in protest the Senate won't pass a separate election-related bill.
He's fine with the housing bill, but he's very frustrated that the Senate is not working with him on his Save America Act, which has passed the House 3 times. And so he chose, as he said on Truth Social yesterday, to not sign the bill, literally in protest.
But he didn't veto it, and so after 10 days with no presidential action, the bill became law on Saturday morning at 12:01 Eastern Time.
This bill is a practical solution to one of the most pressing, challenging arenas that we have in the country. It demonstrates what Congress can accomplish when we focus on solving problems for the American people instead of scoring political points.
In Maumelle, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Well, Carter, thank you. Saturday's event also featured several other speakers, including local bankers and home developers who also praised the new law. The event was live streamed and is now available on the THV 11 YouTube page. And next week, you can help save lives while honoring the men and women who have served our country. A local blood drive is encouraging the community to roll up their sleeves in support of military heroes. Friday, July 17th, our Blood Institute is hosting the 43rd Mass Bash Blood Drive at the National Park College Student Commons Building. Everyone who donates will receive a limited edition Mass Bash t-shirt, 2 Arkansas Diamonds tickets, a Magic Springs ticket, and free food while supplies last. If you would like to schedule an appointment, visit obi.org/events. And our Conquering Cancer story for July is about a Faulkner County man who is now free from a frightening diagnosis. His story is an example of how new options at the UAMS Rockefeller Cancer Institute are changing the outcomes for those with blood cancer, people who once had very few choices.
Jerry Hallberg of Mayflower is finally wrapping up a nearly 12-year-long journey fighting a rare type of blood cancer called multiple myeloma.
It was really kind of a shock. When they first said I had cancer, I didn't hear anything else in the room.
Jerry's diagnosis, found by his primary care doctor during a routine exam, seemed to come out of nowhere.
Then I was called back into the office 2 times, and so the 3rd time, as soon as my doctor walked into the room, I asked him, I said, something must be wrong. What's wrong?
And what did he say?
He told me he thought I had multiple myeloma.
From there, Jerry's care moved to the UAMS Winthrop P. Rockefeller Cancer Institute, and Dr. Sharmalin Thanindarajan, an associate professor and hematology oncologist.
It's Holbrook. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
He says Jerry's cancer was especially stubborn, and worse, it had spread to the base of his brain.
Normally and typically we say that this type of growth pattern is rather high risk. Yeah? It is rather more aggressive in its nature, and usually the patients do not survive for a long time afterwards.
Finally, Jerry's doctor chose to try a newer immunotherapy treatment that worked. He says the progress was nothing short of remarkable.
Normally, these patients have not a good outcome. They normally relapse very quickly, they progress very quickly, and that's why we were so surprised about this great response. He's currently in remission, and that's why we're absolutely happy about the response, and we hope that he's going to continue to be in this condition.
For Jerry, the will to live and his biggest motivation to fight was for his family.
Wanting to see my grandkids was a big thing, wanting to experience life every day. I've always appreciated things, but even more so now, just every day is a blessing.
While doctors say multiple myeloma is still a serious cancer, they say newer treatments like immunotherapy and CAR T-cell therapy are putting more patients into remission and, in some cases, a new hope for a longer life. The U.S. and Iran are facing new disagreements over a critical shipping route. We'll have more on the conflict when we come back.